We are live. Puro Chicano U-turn. How you guys doing, man? What's up, everyone? Well, I just got home right here. I was out there in the park. I could have gotten a little sooner, but I was over there in the park. So I had a it was a call all of a sudden. Uh, the guy I met. Shout out to Juanito. That's his name. Um, Someone that we were going to go ahead and interview. However, he had to go do some other stuff, so he was unable to do it because he's busy doing some other stuff. And a shout out to his two boys. This guy has a everybody else always thinks about my sons and they're twins, and they always ask me, or they always ask my sons if they're twins, but they're not twins, um, because they look alike. My son Junior and my son Papas. But this guy got some legitimate uh, twins, man. They're both alike. Uh, One of them is named Axel, and the other one is named I forgot. It's escaping my name. I mean, escaping right now. But yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. But shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to the Kang Man. Hey, I saw one of your videos, dude. It looks like you're over there in right here in Mexico, right here, like this like this flag behind me. Um, it's crazy, man. It looks like you're over there. If I heard correctly, I think it's Mexico City, where all the Chilangos are at. Shout out to all the Chilangos from El DF, um, because that's the way they call them over there. Chilangos. You know, so they're known like that as Chilangos. And yeah, shout out to everybody, a todos los compas allá de los Chilangos allá del DF. Uh, yeah, the Kang Man strikes again. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to everybody in that community over there. 33 for life. I guess I'm part of them now. So 33 for life. For all the people down there, like Nikki. You got Lynn. You got D to excite. It's another person. Um, you also got Brothers. Yeah, Willy Wonka. We're the dynamic duo. We're always messing around, I guess. But we were already accused of that by Nikki. Shout out to Nikki, Miss Nikki. Shout out to Beckers. Shout out to everybody out there. That's the rest, man. Like S. Jones. Um, Basic Bob was over here the other day. Shout out to him. And shout out to McDonald. Um, I think it's John McDonald, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, shout out to all you guys, man. Everybody over there. If you know, shout out to Johnny Hash Brown, man. My brother from another mother. Uh, it looks like he came through. He sent me a post earlier, and so it looks like he's it looks like he's wants to go live tomorrow, and so we're gonna go ahead and we don't know, we're not sure yet on what kind of platform we're gonna get in yet, whether it's gonna be with his platform or mine. It's yet to be determined, but we're gonna go ahead and try to see what time we can get in. I'm assuming it's gonna probably be in his channel. He has a lot more bigger following than I do. Stick around for that. So tomorrow he wants to go live, and we'll see what comes of it, because he's like a 2 hour difference too from where I'm at. Excuse me. As much as a lot of you guys too, you guys are a lot of, you know, like Honey Holic too. Hello, honey. How you doing, baby girl? Um, she's over there too in Canada, I believe. And so it's like the hours of difference are kind of crazy. So yeah, I understand that. Try to get a little bit earlier, but you know, unfortunately, I'm always here with the boys, and I'm always like, messing around with them, and they got to go somewhere, and I got to take them somewhere, and so, that's how we do it. And then I don't have any free time till like 7 and upwards. Even sometimes at 7, we're still out in the street, you know. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody out there too, man. Everybody over there in the railroad tracks too, man. Like I said before, man, um, you got people. It's like a 40 or 60% of the guys that are over there, the people that are over there, even women that show up too. It can go either way. Some of them are good and some of them are not. But what I mean by, I was just talking to that with, grandma. Shout out to grandma. Hmm. Shout out to my family too, obviously. Um, yes, we were talking about it, and so, we were saying that, yeah, a lot of those foods, obviously, it's not that they're bad persons. It's just they just got used to jacking. The fools will jack you blind, and it's not because they really want to, but it's because they want to get high. A lot of times because the drug got some soul turn up or something, or they don't want to feel the withdrawals, they go ahead and get drug. They want to get high, or they need to get high in order for them to feel normal. And so that's part of the reason they do it. And I understand that. But sometimes, you ain't gotta be jacking nobody, man. If I can help you, man, I'll help you out, dude. But don't be doing stuff like that, man. And I try to tell these fools, I try to give them a little bit of advice sometimes. But, I can't be telling nobody what to do. That's a prerogative, and that's your prerogative. That's what you want to do. So, excuse me. Them fools, that's what they like to do. That's what they're up to. And unfortunately, you know, that's what they're all about. So a lot of these guys, so I can't call it with them. And hey, Honey Holic, how you doing? I just send you a shout out right now. We're just talking about you. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, yeah, I should, huh? Oh man, excuse me for a second, guys, man. I'm gonna put the camera quick. All right, I did what you told me. Um, how you doing, baby girl? Yeah, no, it's because I came. We just came walking from the park, and there's some railroad tracks that we go through, and the park is like straight up over their head. So it's like about, I don't know, like about a mile away. So we go walking over there with the boys. It's a bunch of dirt, and it was kind of chilly out there right now. So I'm wearing a freaking sweater. You know, I was wearing a sweater, and so it was just, that was just part of it. And it's nice and warm in the house, but yeah. So yeah, we were sending a shout out to you, honey. That's what we're doing. That's all. Yeah. So yeah, what you call it? So yeah, anybody wants to join, obviously everybody's invited. So yeah, so I was walking with the boys, and I was hanging around with this guy, se llama Juanito. Now we was gonna go ahead and interview him, because that guy has like some really cool stories, regarding him being in county jail, and he was telling me some crazy story right now with his brother, how they got into it, and they were right there fighting, man, and they was gonna go see these guys. Oh yeah, for sure, we'll go ahead and do so. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, honey. Yeah, you're a good person. You're a good gal. Willy Wonka, what's up, brother? How you doing? Thank you for stopping by, man. Thank you for being around. So yeah, we were over there, and this guy was telling me about how he got into it with his brother. As soon as his brother started drinking some beer, they went to this place like a swap meet. I don't know if you guys know what a swap meet is. Like a swap meet's like a sort of like a mall, but it's like a Mexican mall, I guess, where Hispanics hang around. They try to sell a bunch of stuff. They sell food. They sell um, merchandise. They sell clothes and stuff like that. And they go ahead and try to sell it for a discount most of the time. and everybody's out there having a good time. So they says they had some live band, like who's a playing. There was somebody that's like really famous back in the days. They call these guys Los Yonix, and then he started telling me that we started to throw down with him with his brother and stuff like that and such thing like that. It was crazy, man. Yeah, good evening to you too, man. Um, Willie. Um, so yeah, man, these guys were, he was telling me about that. But he has a pretty good story, That's the guy with the two twins, So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and obviously he wasn't ready today, so because he had to go do some other stuff too, and so we're gonna go ahead and interview him. But like I said, it looks like Johnny Hash Brown. We're gonna go ahead and go live tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not sure if we're gonna go in his channel or mine, but we're gonna go ahead and I haven't seen him in a while, man. I haven't spoken to him for a while, so it's gonna be interesting to see what he got to say. So yeah, yeah, man. So I was talking about these guys from the railroad tracks, man. A lot of these guys, they're not bad people, man. You know, these guys are cool people. Some of them, they all try to do because they try to jack, and they jack you because they're trying to get high. That's all they're trying to do. They're not bad people, man. And some of the other people are good people too. They try to look out for you. Like shout out to Pablo, man. There's been times where I've actually blacked out and stuff like that. I had too much to drink. What's really been getting me, I've been thinking about it, man. And this is the first year that's ever happened to me, man. This never happened to me before. Um, as far as like drinking and stuff like that. And every time, and it only happened this year, man. Ever since I started having these seizures, or the problem with the seizures, I started to black out, like out of nowhere. And I will always say, I'm gonna drink, but I'm just only gonna have these alcoholic beverages up until you start feeling a little woozy. Then you gotta stop because then you're gonna black out or you're gonna start acting stupid, which I have, you know. And we were talking about it in the last podcast that I had on Friday. You know, there's such a thing called a quiet desperation that you have. Sometimes you hold this stuff in, and you don't want to show it to nobody. You don't want to, concern anyone. And that quiet desperation, it's like when you start punching things, man, and you start trashing your thing because you don't like your situation, especially my financial situation. I really don't like it. I don't like to depend on the government. I never asked the freaking government for absolutely nothing, man. Up until I started having these freaking seizures, and somebody told me to go get some help from them, and so I had to do it for my two boys, and that's the only thing that's been keeping us afloat. But I never ever. I worked for 25 years. I always worked my butt off. Last time I had it, well, I worked for the junkyard too as well. I was a tow truck driver. I was making, okay money. And then I was working for a Jiffy Lube, like I said before, Jiffy Lube. It's like a place where they do tune-ups, they change oils and stuff like that for your car. And I was over there in Manhattan Beach where I was working. I was working in a good city. And up until I had a seizure over there, and they had to call the paramedics, and they had to take me away. And but yeah, a lot of these guys, yeah, they're cool people over there, man. But I gotta stay away from over there too, man. And I gotta stop. Like, I started blacking out this year. This is the first time this ever happened to me ever since I started to do, you know. And I don't use the stuff they do. They be doing, man. I don't use none of the freaking drugs they use. You know, I really don't. I only just drink and that's it. You know, and they tend to do some other stuff. I'm not really gonna say what, but these guys they stay up all night, man. I think that gives you sort of a clue what these fools be doing. But they stay up all freaking night, doing it. And but yeah, man, it's like I've had a bad year. This whole year has been sucked, I guess you could say that, honey. Man, yeah, I guess you could say that. That's a horrible thing to do, man. It's horrible, you know. I've tried it before, Never liked it, man. I tried it over there in East LA for the first time when I used to live back there. I was lit up, man, and I couldn't sleep for like 3, 4 days, like almost a freaking week. And I was like, nah, and I already have trouble sleeping as it is. So I said, nah, this is not for me, man. So I'm gonna quit doing this stuff, man, because that's not for me. At the most, I would, do a little here and there, with the up your nose and stuff like that, or smoke it. But geez, but that's just about it. But not that crazy stuff, man. Yeah, yeah, that's right, honey. That big crystal out here, you know. But no, no way. That's something I ain't gonna touch that stuff, man. But that blacking out is really concerning, because then uh, I start acting a little wacky. I start getting either happy or angry. And it looks like at first I always get happy, I guess, when I start drinking and I start like having a good time with everybody else, and I'm like, doing everything with um with them, chilling out, hugging these guys, telling them, whatever, try to talk to them, stuff like that, give them some advice or whatever I can. So some of these fools to get out of their freaking situation and stuff like that. But sometimes I get angry, and lately I've been having a lot of anger, I guess, a lot of issues within myself. I've been feeling a little depressed sometimes, and it's like I was saying the other day, it's kind of like the movie The Joker. I seen a clip of it. This guy started going nuts and started hitting the freaking phone booth because that was that quiet desperation where he started punching everything and started going absolutely berserk. And I think that's what happened to me because I started trashing my freaking room, man. I got my boys were not in here, so they really didn't see me. They heard me screaming, yelling, and hollering and raving, but I think that's what happened. And I don't remember none of that. That's another thing too, man. I don't remember none of that. It was grandma that told me that I was seen, laying down in a freaking bathtub, and yeah, my boys, have been, they're really good boys, man. If you guys see my videos, you guys could see that I've been fortunate to have full custody of the two boys. Um, I thank God for that. That other than that, I would have been a whole lot more depressed, like I would say. But yeah, I think it's been the best thing that could actually happen to me. And I have my daughter; she's close by too. She's not too far away, and that's what it is, eh? But I've been feeling like that, I guess, and so some of that stuff came out, eh? What did I do, eh? You know, like, I've been holding it in, and that's why I was telling grandma about it. That's the reason I started doing, like, or sometimes I just start, having a few drinks here and there. One becomes two, and then two becomes four, four becomes six, and so on. And especially that cheap stuff, man. I think they put something on that cheap stuff, man, like them 211s, man, and stuff like that. I think that's what they do. They be putting stuff like that on purpose, eh? Like the government or somebody put that some kind of chemical in those cheap beers and that cheap alcohol and all that stuff, man, because it makes you black out, and a lot of fools start acting like that. Eh? I'm not the only one, but I just gotta quit, man. I just gotta quit doing that stuff, man. Plain and simple. And I always notice that when I start drinking like the good stuff, like some expensive stuff, like maybe like a Corona or Modelo, something like that, that never happens. Never. It only happens with that cheap beer, like the freaking King Cobras and the freaking the 211s and all that stuff, man. That nasty stuff. And or you start drinking some of that cheap brandy. That just it's funny, honey, that you say that. Just behave. It's like Emiliano. He told me too in Spanish. Se pórtese bien, pórtese bien, which means behave, just behave. He told me the same thing. And yeah, just gotta behave, man. But I don't. I never get violent, man. I never ever get violent whatsoever when I would do stuff like that. Absolutely not. It's quite the opposite. But since I've been having this stuff inside of me, I guess came out, and I just started to, excuse me, I just started to freaking just go absolutely nuts, man. Start going berserk, and I don't care, at the moment. I guess I don't care who's seen me, who's right there or nothing, man. It's just, and I don't want that stuff to come out, man. I don't want my kids to see me like that anymore, man. I don't want none of that stuff, eh? So it's just time to call it quits, man. Maybe if I do, I mean, I can't guarantee anything, obviously, but I just won't drink like that no more. And if I'm gonna drink something, it's gonna be something good. It's not gonna get me like that, not no cheap stuff anymore. Because I noticed that I drink that cheap stuff, it gets me. It tends to black you out, or rather, I should say that every time I drank the cheap stuff, I black out, but I never black out with like the good stuff, like good Coronas and the good like Modelos and stuff like that, or even Tecates, like a good beer or like Heineken stuff like that. I never black out like that. It's quite you kind of just chill, doesn't do that to you, and just having a couple beers is not that hard liquor, man. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I would tend to usually just have like a shot or two, and but if that's all to drink, then sometimes I overdo it. I'm not gonna say that I've never overdone it, but I have. But this stuff, man, I'm just saying, like, I can't be doing this no more. I'm already too old for this, man. I got my kids. I'm 40. I'm 42 now, so it's like I can't continue to be doing this stuff, man. Absolutely not. And yeah, absolutely. I can't be doing that, man, like that. It's funny because I do have a high tolerance. I've always been known for a high tolerance. I could drink a 24 pack, but I would drink these tall cans. They sell them like in threes. They're 24 ounces. I could drink like so one of them is equal because 24 ounces, so it's equal to one beer, a 12 ounce. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I could drink like about three or four of them. Obviously, not all in the same, like, really fast. I take my time, but throughout the day, I could drink that, no problem. And I never get like that. Absolutely not. It, and with that other stuff, compared to the other stuff, man, you drink, man, you know, drink three or four of them. Like you start drinking, like by the time I'm already in my fourth or sixth one, or let's just say four, then you start like feeling kind of crazy, man. You start feeling it, and that's what happens. That's what happens because that cheap stuff is meant to get you like that. And I know they put something in there because it's not normal to be acting like that, eh? So my brother started getting like that's why my brother would get like that too, eh? But I never get any violence, man. That was the thing about me. It just started happening recently that I started getting like that. You know, especially this year. So yeah, I can't do this no more, like I said. But yeah, shout out to everybody out there, man. Um, yeah, them fools, you know, they always got something, man. They always come up with something. They fools are always jacking somebody, eh? And sometimes they take the stuff over there to the railroad tracks. I remember the other day, this fool had I had a van outside that I parked, right? And we took it out because they was gonna come over here and the inspectors and everything, and they were gonna go ahead and fix the roof in the back, the patio. So I moved the van and I moved it because it was inoperable. I moved it outside, and then I started kicking in the railroad tracks, and then I saw this fool with my bags. I seen this fool, and I never seen this guy before. And those two guys, I never knew who they were. It turned out to be Rambo and some other fool they call Virus. Shout out to both of them, by the way. But them fools looks like they had broken in or something in that van, and they took my stuff, and the fool had some of my stuff in there with him. And I'm like, oh yeah, so this is your stuff? And I'm like, yeah, this is my stuff, man. And I'm like, oh yeah. I pull out my freaking Gap. Like, oh yeah, fool, this is your stuff. This belongs to me. And he said, and they were like, oh really? He said, yeah, that's my van, fool. And he started cussing. Oh man, blah 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 blah. I know it's like, he said that some fool, some black fool had told him it was okay and that it was his stuff, So he gave it to him supposedly. But like, come on, man. I'm like, it wasn't born yesterday, man. You guys broke in and jacked my stuff, eh? So that's the way it happens, man. So I pull out my freaking Gap, man. I was like, what's up, fool? It's my stuff now. I said, what you mean? Like, it's my stuff, man. Literally, it's my van, fool. He broke into. I let that van. I let him. Shout out to Drama. Drama. Um, I let him have it. I told him, hey, you see this van right here? Boy ain't got nowhere to sleep. So I let him have it. So he couldn't have somewhere to sleep, somewhere to kick it. You know. Next thing you know, everybody started going kicking it right there. Eh? Everybody started going over there. Everybody started chilling out, and Drama told me, man, these fools will come over here, man, and I didn't like it, man, because these fools will come over here, they'll start smoking and they'll start doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and I didn't like it so much, man, that these fools were right here doing this stuff, and without my permission. Sometimes I wouldn't even be here, and the fools will come over and I'll find somebody sleeping in there. So what it turns out to be later on, the freaking city came around and took it and jacked them and took the damn van with all its possessions and everything that was in there. So the city just took him away, and then came to find out that they was gonna do some kind of a. He should have moved it, you know, because they. It turns out that the watchtowers were gonna have some kind of event, and instead of parking parallel parking, they started parking like that to get more people in there because of parking, and so they closed the whole freaking street. The whole entire street was closed. So parking, and then because they had like a big event, live band and people playing and stuff like that, and so they had to get rid of them. So or anything that was right there, they had to clean up the whole thing. And so there goes his van. He should have moved it. He did tell me he was gonna move it to 90 something street, but he never did. So that was up to him. That was his fault. You know. Or he would have moved it somewhere else, even close by. He would have been, sort of okay. But he didn't, and so that was the consequence. They took his stuff. She should have known better. But I had to let him. I let him have that van, because I didn't have nothing to do with it anymore, and I had put a lot of new stuff in it. I had invested some money in there. I was gonna get it running and stuff like that, but I never did. You know, I had put it together and everything, man. It's just that I was just hurting a lot, man. I was having a lot of issues too within myself, and then I was hurting too physically. So yeah, I just didn't do it. Just like now, I've been lagging it too with my cars over here, and it's a good thing that now that I think about it for the whole entire year, it's a good thing that I never got my vehicles running because God God prevented something to happen to me. I'm gonna get off this cam for a minute. Um, I really truly believe that I really truly believe that God had something to do with it for me to get off from stop driving. Period. Because God knows what would have happened. Imagine I would have been maybe even drinking and driving or something like that, and I would have blacked out somewhere. Imagine how that would have happened. I would have had a freaking seizure, like I did. I did have like two seizures on the freaking car twice. You know, on this year, and it's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. It's not acceptable. The grandma says she's been praying for me, man, and she truly believes in her heart. She says that God has already cured me from that disease and from that stuff. And she keeps asking me, have I gotten it lately? And I said, no. I believe. Oh, excuse me. So every time Grandma always says something, it always tends to come true. And but she understands that she understands me, I guess. But she when she says something, man, it comes true a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10. And so she said no more seizures, and I'm not gonna have no more seizures. And I believe it, I believe it with all my heart. So I'm not gonna have no more seizures. And so this year is coming up, man. Like I said, I'm actually I'm actually excited for next year because I'm gonna leave this. Oh, excuse me. Because finally I'm gonna go ahead and leave this whole year behind. I'm not gonna have to deal with this year no more. And the next year, I guess, if you believe in that, you know, numerology thing, like I've had lately, uh, it's gonna be the year of the dragon. However, uh, the Chinese don't start celebrating their freaking year not until like February something. I forgot right now at the moment, but it's in February, so it's not actually January. So it's like somewhere in February where they start going ahead and celebrate the new year. And so that's what we're gonna go ahead and start doing. I guess from February on then, it's when I'm gonna start doing my own thing. And God willing, that's when I'm gonna start making some big moves. And it should be a better year. It's gonna be better than what we had for sure. It's gonna be better than what we had this year because it makes absolute no sense with everything that happened to me. And I put myself in a lot of those situations too, man. I can't just say that it was a fault of that, even though I still had like a lot of crazy stuff happen to me, like just weird stuff, man. Like I don't know if it's ever happened to you guys, but sometimes you just have like just freak accidents and stuff like that that just happen. That comes out of nowhere, stuff comes out of left field and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys ever had that, man, but everything was coming out of left field, man. Most of everything, like some things that you would think that, oh no, it's not gonna happen. The next thing you know, it does. It comes out of left field, and you're like, what the heck? Like that wasn't supposed to happen, but it does. I don't know if you guys ever had that kind of year, but this whole entire year, that's the way it was for me. That I ended up, man, yeah, it was crazy, man. This whole year was crazy, man. But next year is gonna be a whole lot different, you know. You know, shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to Grandma, obviously. But yeah, man. Yeah, so all the stuff too, man. Thank God I left the gang banging behind, man, because back then I was really into the freaking gangs, the gang life and all that. But I was out there, tagging, and I was out there beating the crap out of who's and who's beating the crap out of me sometimes. And yeah, so yeah, honey, for sure. Um, yeah, thank you for stopping by the way, honey. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, it was a good thing too, man, that I stood away. That I never went back to that life anymore because it was just absolutely was draining me too. That's why I had gotten even as far as they had this one thing over there, and they call it was like a program where you go ahead and sign up, and a lot of people they want to change their life, and they had a serious desire to get away from the gang life, because that's what it identifies you. Now today every freaking idiot gets a freaking tattoo, man. Every idiot you see now, whether they're not even gangbangers, or they don't even know anything about that. They just trying to look tough and stuff like that. You see these fools with tattoos all over their freaking body, and they never even been out in the street before. They don't even know what it's like. It's just a lot of these rich kids and a lot of these rich people getting tattoos all over the place. They don't even know. They're not even OGs and nothing. Back then, you was an OG. If you had a tattoo, man, it's because you knew somebody, or somebody that you knew that came out from the pen that did you the tattoo. What I mean by the pen is by prison. They've been in the prison life. So you'll get it from one of those guys. Usually it's a cholo artist, a vato that got out of jail, you know. That's when you get a tattoo, from them fools back in the days. That's where you get it from. And a lot of these other guys, man, there wasn't no, Now today every freaking idiot can get one, you know. And so I had gotten it from some fool, some vato that was in a gang with my brother, eh? That fool they called him Scooby. And so Scooby was the one that he was trying to learn how to do tats. And I was his guinea pig. And he did a pretty good job, But that's what happened, eh? I got my first tattoo, which was in my arm, my back of my near my elbow, like my forearm, and I had put Brown Pride, Brown, you know, Brown Pride, like that's what they call us. They, we're identified as Brown, I guess, and it's like a saying too. It's like Brown and proud. It's like a saying to identify us, even in rap music and stuff like that. It's just like a culture thing. And then obviously I had the tattoo with my brother in memory of my brother Victor, because I loved him so much. I miss him. And the way he got murdered you know, was devastating to all of us. The way we lost him. And but yeah, anyways, man. So we went over there, and Father Greg. Shout out to them over there, and shout out to the Homeboys industry. They made an industry where they do like a printing. Uh, they go ahead and print like shirts and stuff like that, and sweaters and stuff like that. And they call themselves Homeboys Industries. And so Homeboy Industries became something big back in the days. We're talking about like the late '90s, when I was like, getting out of this whole thing. And so I went over there. I signed up to get your tattoos removed. So we started going to a tattoo removal place. Everybody that was serious to try to get out of the gang life, they started getting these tattoos removed. However, you had to go about 3 sessions. You had to go to get them removed, because the technology wasn't as good as today, or even like in the 2000s. Like I mean, like in the late 2000s. Um, Man, it just felt like they were hitting you with rubber bands, and it would go pop 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 pop, and really slow too, man. That thing hurt it, man. It was no joke. I don't know, man. I just never went back. So the tattoos kind of look a little faded, you know, throughout my whole 20s and stuff like that. And so this time around, I decided just to. I saw a tattoo artist over here, a lady, and I told her how much they cost. And so I said, man, instead of having this thing all faded, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and redo it again, just for the hell of it. And so I decided to reprint the Brown and Proud again. Let me see, I can probably just show you guys. I got it. I had gotten it when I was a youngster at first, and so the other one that's like right here, on my chest, I put memory memory of my brother Victor. Now you guys can see it, but it was all faded, so she redid it again. And then obviously, I started doing this podcast, but everybody started calling me Chicano, so everybody started identifying me as, Chicano. That's how I got this one, Chicano U-turn. But now I got to put Puro Chicano U-turn, which became, which has become a sort of moniker of some sort, eh? So, yeah, so so I started doing that, man, and so yeah, that's where everybody knows me as Chicano. So Chicano U-turn, or Chicano, just Chicano in the streets. In the streets, that's what they call me, or I'm known as that. Some fools don't even know my freaking name. They just know me as, hey Chicano, hey Chicano, what's up, man? And so Now I just tell everybody, instead of giving them my real name, well, I just tell them, yeah, my name is Chicano Steve, but everybody just calls me Chicano instead. And I guess, I do have the look. Everybody tells me, yeah, dude, you just have like that classic. You just have that classic Chicano look, dude. You're brown, dude, and you're like, you just look all about it, dude. Ain't nobody like you like that, man. A lot of fools, and because a lot of those fools, I guess they really don't look like me, and not to say that there's none, but yeah, yeah, it's kind of crazy the way they identify me, and they say that, yeah, man, that kind of looks like it's for you. That like I said, it's that whole life has been gone for me. That's been long in the past. It came and gone. So I'm not about that anymore. Now that I got kids, obviously too. Imagine back then you had to check out. You had to be watching your back everywhere I went. I couldn't go in certain places either down over there in East LA because that was like enemy territory. So I couldn't go over there and walk around over there. Either you'll get yourself shot or somebody's gonna jump you, which I did get jumped a couple of times. And so yeah, or you'll get shot at, you know, which I got shot at too before, you know, back in the days. And so that's what happened, you know. You got to stay away from several places. And now I could just walk anywhere, man. Back then, like I said, you couldn't even go anywhere, you know, without watching my back. Now I could just, I could freely go anywhere I want, It's not a big deal. And back then, if you were dressed like a cholo, that means you were a freaking gangbanger. Now every freaking idiot just dresses like one. They don't even know what the gangbanging life is, man. And you're supposed to be dressing like that, eh? And back then we had the classic look where you had kind of like this fool right here that I got in my avatar. Some fools will put the hat on, or some fools will put like a hairnet with their hair slicked back, like my brother Victor did. And I started wearing one too, man. So back then I would have my hair slicked back, man. And I would wear one of those hairnets, black hairnets, with the classic look, man, with a either with a sweater on and some Dickies with some Nike Cortez or some regular Nikes, the black and white ones, and yeah, I'll start wearing that, and my pants were always creased, man. I get the iron or the plancha, and I go ahead and make that little streak, man. That classic the streak that you have, like when you have your pants nice and creased, and I will do that with all my shirts and all my pants. Now I don't even do it no more. I just get my freaking pants, man. The way they come out of the washer, man, and the dryer, I just go ahead and put them on now. I don't even care no more, you know. But yeah, that's the way. And the pants had to be baggy too. So we'll make fun of fools that had the pants all like we'll call them skin tight. Like you got some skin tight pants, man. Look at you. And so we'll make fun of fools, or like they'll make fun of you. And so the bigger the pants were, the more cooler you were. I think the biggest size I ever had was some white pants that I had. They were size 40. No, I'm sorry, size 50. The smallest pant that I ever had, like around that time, was like a size 42 waist. And my waist was like only like 28 inches. And so that's what it was. That's what it was, man, back in the days. So, and then, the big baggy shirt too. My hair slicked back, and I guess I had that classic look too, man. I guess, and then I'm brown, so they kind of went hand in hand, and I got shot at. So that's why everywhere I would go, like, hey, where you from, Messi? Where you from, Holmes? And I got that a lot. And sometimes I still get it, you know. Where you from, Messi? Like this one fool, uh, he said he was from 18th Street. You're like, hey, ¿de dónde eres, man? Where you from? Told me Spanish. I'm like, what you mean where I'm from, man? I live right here. I'm from LA, fool. Nah, the barrio. What's your barrio? It's like, oh man, I don't do that no more, man. Come on. So yeah, well, I'm Mason El Macizo, which is like a strong boy, like a big boy. That who comes up to me, man, tells me, "Hey, where you from, SA?" And I thought he was like asking me for what city I was from, and I was like, "Nah, homie, I don't do that stuff no more, man. Come on." This fool tell me he's from 18th Street, eh? Yeah, I'm from 18th Street. And, 18th Street is kind of notorious from and he was a big dude. He was like a big, tall, like big dude, but he was like a youngster. He was probably, I don't know, maybe like his early 20s, I would say. He was right there in the railroad tracks. He came out of nowhere, and because I was talking right there with Omar, and Omar's a Chicano too. Shout out to Omar and his lady, and yeah, he's a cool guy, man. Guess he's a Chicano too. He's brown like he's brown like me too. We could even pass as brothers too, man. We kind of look alike a little bit. And he lived in East LA too. He's from East LA too, somewhat from parts over there from East LA. He went and graduated from Roosevelt High, which I never went because I got kicked out of school for fighting or throwing down with some fools, and I couldn't even go to school because I would always end up fighting for somebody. And so, yeah, I got kicked out. Went to the special schools with all the killers. That's where I graduated from. So yeah, man, this guy told me that, and then he told me, yeah, it's 18th Street, eh? And I'm like, all right, well, good for you, man. Anything else? And so he was like, yeah. And he saw that I was just like a regular guy. But yeah, I still get it sometimes, eh? But I'm not about that no more, eh? But yeah, guys, man, thank you for stopping by, man. Everybody that stopped by, thank you, Willy Wonka, for showing up. Honey Holic, thank you. I'm sorry, Honey Hole, Honey Hole. You put yourself. I seen you put yourself to it as a Honey Ho. You know, obviously no pun intended for all those people that want to think wrong about her. We're like in a Christmas spirit, I guess. That's why I got the my avatar. When you guys see me come up, I have I have the Santa Claus with a hat backwards in a cigarette in his mouth. So I thought it was kind of funny. So and some sunglasses. So I go ahead, I went because we found that, believe it or not, we found that Santa. We found it in the street. Somebody had thrown him out, and it actually worked. He'll actually move and he'll start singing. He'll start moving his head, bobbing his head, and moving his hands. But I don't know what my kids did to it, man. They knocked his head out, and now he's headless. But he's still outside though. That freaking Santa, man. So that's why I got the Santa. Uh, that's my avatar on YouTube. So we thought it was funny, with the cigarette, the sunglasses, and all that. But anyways, guys, man, we gotta let you guys go, man. We're gonna go ahead and call it a live stream. We appreciate everybody that showed up, man. Everybody. So we'll see you guys till the next time. You know, uh, we're gonna go ahead and see what we're not like Johnny Hash Brown. He said that he's gonna go ahead and we can go live tomorrow, and I still don't know whether it's gonna be in his platform or my platform. More than likely, probably his. I just told him just let me know when, and at what time, and we'll go ahead and make it happen. And he's like a 2 hour difference than I am, so we'll see what time because he says that he mentioned something about his schedule is kind of different. They've been changing his the schedule all the time. What he's working. And so yeah, I'm interested in seeing what's up with him, man. He's a cool guy, man. Um, Johnny. So we'll go ahead and I haven't seen him or spoken to him like that in a long time. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and speak again. And but yeah, thank God I got rid of that freaking gang life, man. You know, like I said, I couldn't go anywhere, man. Several places I couldn't go to because I'll get my, you know, you'll start getting your ass whooped. They'll kick your ass, you know, or they'll start shooting at you. But now it's like, but I still get, like I said, man, I still get some fools still telling me, hey, where you from? I say, where you from? Like that last fool from, like I just said right now. That fool from 18th Street comes up to me and says, "Where you from?" I say, "Well, what you mean where I'm from? I'm from LA, fool." and then I realized that he was asking me for the barrio. Ah, what's your barrio? I'm like, my barrio? Come on, man. He said, I don't gangbang no more, man. What's up with you, man? He was telling me in Spanish. And he told me they call him Macizo. Macizo from 18th Street. And everybody knows what 18th Street is. Just kind of like the MS, the Mara Salvatrucha. They're kind of interconnected and they don't get along. So Mara Salvatrucha is bigger than the 18th Street, but they're right there neck and neck almost. So I'm gonna let you guys go, man. I gotta go. Thank you for stopping by. Everybody that showed up. We're growing little by little, and we'll start having a little bit of a community, I guess. But we're still gonna have to. We're still gonna try to get these guys, man. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get drama in here because he has an interesting story too, man, to say about his life. We were talking the other day, and he's sharing a lot of stuff with me, and he has a lot of stuff to say, man, like interesting stuff about his life. We're gonna go ahead and interview him. He lives in the street, obviously. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and talk to him. Uh, God willing, maybe not next podcast. So if I see him again, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna ask him. I'll buy that full beer or whatever, and we're gonna go ahead and get him in here. And so Juanito too, he's gonna go ahead and come in too. We're gonna go ahead and interview him too as well. So we got to start, making this thing happen. Gonna start making this live stream happen. What it was intended to do. Um, I guess a lot of people are kind of shy to come in here and really don't come in here. We talk about different topics, and but yeah, we'll make it. We're gonna start making it happen now. I'm gonna start getting some of these foods from the tracks too. Um, obviously, I'm not gonna like stay like that anymore, but maybe maybe in January, sometime next month, I'm gonna start getting these foods in here and start interviewing some of these guys so they could tell us some of their part of their story, which was the channel about. So they got a lot of stories to tell, but ain't got nobody to tell it to. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get them in here, and even women too. So all right, guys, man, we'll call it a day. We'll call it a night. Thank you guys for showing up. We'll see you guys to the next one. All right. God bless you guys, and Godspeed to anyone and to everyone. We'll talk to you guys again, man. Puro Chicano U-turn. God bless you guys. Godspeed.